Hi, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Dan. And we welcome to the studio. For the first time like this, it's Damiano David.
It's a new setup. Hello.
Well, it's a new setup here, but like it's also a new setup for you.
Yeah, all fresh.
Yeah, like it is wild. There is not a group of people around you right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of space.
Are you still getting used to it? Does it feel normal carrying a conversation like this on your own? What does it feel like?
It feels natural for me. It feels like everything is happening at the right time in the right place, you know? So it doesn't feel weird at all. I know that the stuff I'm talking about right now is extremely personal and individual, so it wouldn't really make sense to have other people.
Yeah, it is. Like by the way, the music's incredible.
Thank you.
And we're building into an album. You've led us into the world just a little bit. It's really special. It's lyrically deep, but the production moves you. It's really great, and it's very layered.
Thank you.
What parts of yourself made it into the band? As opposed to this, like this is your whole being, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What parts of yourself are you giving to the band?
I think there's definitely a part of me that got into the band that was very attached to the younger me. We started the band when I was 15, so I was a kid, and the other guys were even younger. And so we built a very strong identity pretty early. And so, of course, we stuck to it, and it was real, and it still is real. It's a part of who I am and of who we are as a collective, but at the same time, it's like it was a little stuck in time and wasn't really following my personal growth for my point of view. And that's, I would say, the main reason why I felt the need to do this thing on my own, because now I have a very different point of view on things and on myself as well. So I really think that it's worth talking about it.
What is fueling that new growth perspective? Where's it coming from?
I mean, I think like everybody else, like stuff happens during our lives, and of course on the job side of my life, I had a lot of accomplishments and a lot of growth and beautiful things, and at the same time I think it's fair to say that I had to sacrifice a lot of things, and I got to the point where the sacrifice was not worth it anymore, but was getting bigger than the reward. And then of course stuff happens during my time, and I went through a breakup and a relationship that everybody knew about it because it was very public, and then straight after I had another one, and it made me realize how fragile my fundament were and how much I was relying on external things for my own like validation and satisfaction. And so I basically took a year far away from everything I was comfortable with, and I just started building this new surroundings, and I feel way more comfortable right now. So I think I did a good job.
Wait, that's incredible. Because like after really people come in and out of our lives for seasons, and like, yeah, you hop from one relationship to another, but you realize something much larger, right? And that awareness, it allows you to grow as a human being.
Yeah, I think out of every like major thing that happens in our life, it has a reason, and it's to prepare us to the next stage. And I think that seeing everything that was happening from this point of view really helped me to make it make sense, you know?
How much of this new music was written while you were going through it, or does it only get written once you're out of it looking back?
I think the writing process started like right in the middle of like the healing process. So there's a good part of when I was still into it, and there's also another part that it's kind of myself looking back at it. And many songs I wrote when I was already in a different state of mind, when I was like healthier and happier and everything, but still I thought that was such a huge part of my life and of my growth that I thought it was very important for me to give it a look and talk about it.
Are all these songs that we're about to get in this new album like from your reality?
Yeah,
from your life?
no, totally, yeah.
Nothing from imagination.
No, of course there's some romance in it, but yeah, everything is true.
Do you genuinely believe that you were born with a broken heart?
I believe that. Like I was in a moment where I thought that. I thought that it was really, I don't know, like my point of view, especially on that thing, on relationships and on love and how it should be, was like unmatched, not in a good way. It was like I couldn't find someone that had the same point of view, and also I was in this process of like believing myself less and less, like my ability of reading people and reading like the good and the bad in people. And I was like, am I this like not dumb, but like this easy to manipulate and to fall into like traps that I've seen thousands of times and I keep falling into it. So yeah, at the point I thought I was like there was something wrong, some like piece of the machine was wrong. But then I realized that it was who I was having a conversation with that was not on the same level, probably.
That, right? But there is a part of you too that gets almost afraid to let people in.
Yeah. You get to the point where, I mean, I wasn't trusting myself, so I couldn't.
You couldn't trust anybody else.
I couldn't let anyone in because I was like, am I seeing everything? Am I missing something? I don't know, you know?
It is scary.
Yeah, it's scary as fuck.
It is scary as fuck. What is life without relationships, right? Of any kind. Friendships or romantic ones, whatever it may be. And to fear that you can't have a safe space with somebody, you know?
Yeah, not even with yourself, you know? It's scary. It's like, again, like I thank God I got to the point where I realized that the problem was, of course, all the surroundings, but the fact that I think if you're so sure of who you are and what you represent, it doesn't really matter what other people tell you because you know in the core who you are and you always get back to it. And I realized how much I didn't have it. And I had even myself a partial view on myself. And I was letting back all this wide range of things. And I thank God I had the time to really take the time and focus on what was really coming from the core of myself.
You acknowledge something like having the time to do that is a blessing.
Yeah. No, I was very lucky. I was in the right place at the right moment, you know.
What do you learn about yourself from creating a song like Born with a Broken Heart? I mean, the lyrics are, what if I said I'm trying to save your love from dying? Maybe I'm too far gone. Don't want to see you crying, but I just know who I am. Maybe that's the hardest part.
My relationship with songs, especially the ones of this type, is like I don't really think about things. I'm very like feeling driven, and especially like bad things, I tend to avoid it, which is a really bad habit of mine. But so I often get to the point where I have this like sadness and like negative feelings, and I can't really point out where they're coming from. And then when I write songs, it's like there's a valve in my brain that gets loose and all these thoughts come out. And when I see them on paper and they have a purpose, which is music, like trying to make something beautiful, doesn't matter how sad or painful the lyrics are, the aim it's always to make something beautiful, to make something shiny. And so it gives my own self the opportunity to look at it like if it was a painting or a TV show. And you look at it and it's pretty and it has a purpose. And so it's not scary to look at it and to think about it. And that's when I realized a lot of times, like months after I wrote a song, I'm like, oh, that's what I meant. Like, that's why it resonates with me. Because I write things and then I'm like, I don't even resonate with this because it's too specific. It's too much. I was thinking about it and so I wanted to write it. When it's like a flow, and I always think it comes like from the sky or something like that, you always feel it because you see how it's connected with so many things in your life even months later.
This is crazy. Like, so
Yeah, that's
I get
pretty
it. Like,
wild.
yeah, because like so do you believe that these things are kind of just like beamed down into you?
Yeah, sometimes yes. It's like I feel like it's like digging to find gold and diamonds. You know, there's a lot of dirt and stuff that doesn't really mean anything. But if you don't stop and keep digging, you're gonna find something that it's like beautiful and meaningful.
Yeah, and what you end up finding is like very much connected to your reality, but you have to like kind of get yourself out of it to realize it.
Yeah, looking from a different perspective, like thinking about things if it was a friend of yours telling this stuff, not your own self, you know.
How do you set up the rooms that you choose to write in and get vulnerable in now? Because before it was with a band and you felt comfortable.
Yeah, no, I started this process working with a ton of different like songwriters and different people, like huge people, smaller people, niche people, and in the end of the whole thing, the album, it's written with only 3 different teams, and they all know each other, and we all know each other. It's like we did camps all together, and it was like this big summer camp and hanging out with friends and happening to write songs, and it was one of the like most fun experiences of my life. And that's really the part of my job that makes me dream and makes it feel so magical, and I don't feel like I'm working. It's so beautiful. It's what's really magical about it.
Yeah, you feel like you're in a safe space with friends, just connecting and opening up,
Yeah,
and then you just happen to write songs about it.
yeah, and you can be all proud of it all together. I think music, it's a team sport.
Even as a solo artist, you believe that?
Yeah. Because as an artist, you get to talk about yourself a lot, and you only have your own self point of view on yourself. And at one point, it started to be a little redundant.
Totally.
And also, I think it's so important to have other points of view in your life, and there's not one activity that you only do on your own and you judge yourself on your own in your life that you do. Everything, like your job is with other people, you have co-workers, you have friends, you have your family. Every activity is shared with other people. It's like human nature. And if I make music, is of course for me it's cathartic and blah blah blah, but it's to share it with people. So also I think the making, it's important that it's shared with other people. It's more point of views, it's more ideas. And then, of course, you have to be the captain of your ship, you know? You got to know what you're going to make, and you got to choose the right people. I chose people that were elevating me, and they were never trying to overstep me. I worked with the people that tried to overstep me. I walked out of the room because it's not what I'm interested into in that moment.
Can you explain that? Like, is that somebody who's just pushing what they think is the right move, regardless of your vision?
Yeah, yeah. Or like some people work with concepts and they think that their concept is like the end of the world, and you're like, it's cool. It's not really my vibe, and they try to force things inside of you, but that's a thing I have on everything. I never work on a song. If I don't finish a song in that day, that song is never going to be finished. Because if it was worth it, we would all have stayed 1 or 2 hours more to finish it. If we are not all moved by that thing, something's missing.
Do you think working in a band dynamic gives you a different perspective on like how you read people in those creative situations?
I think in my experience, it made me learn that you get the best out of people when everyone feels comfortable being themselves, and everyone feels like they're actually like everyone is involved, and everyone has the space to be involved, and nobody is like forced to be something. And when it's like this, you get the best. When somebody has to shift and to accommodate somebody else, that's when stuff starts cracking. And that's something I try to bring in everything I do. I do it even with my team. I work with my stylist. He's my friend. I work with friends.
Totally.
I try to work with friends as much as I possibly can.
Well, it makes it the most fun, but it's also the safest place, and like you could be true to who you are. Because like,
And also, they tell you the truth.
Fuck yes.
It's important to have people that tell you, dude, this stuff sucks. Trust me, it sucks. Because I wouldn't hear it from somebody I don't know and I don't respect. If it's my peer, I'm like, oh, maybe it sucks.
What an interesting take, though, that like if a song was worth it, everybody would have stayed an extra hour or two to finish. And of all the interviews you've done with musicians, which there's been a lot, nobody's ever given that take on it.
No one.
I think John Mayer said something very smart. The downfall of music is dinners. Because a lot of times you're in a session and somebody's like, oh, I have a dinner. I have a hard call. And you're like, what the fuck? Why are we even doing the session? That was my only rule. Like, no hard calls. If we're doing the session, the day is open. We can finish at 6. We could finish at midnight. I don't fucking care. Let's finish the song.
Did you get pushback from people?
You got to find people that vibe with your way of working.
Yeah.
So, you feel it in the room. You feel the energy when people are not on your same vibe, on your same trail. And it just doesn't feel very good to be in that room. So it was my own, I don't know, idea to not get back in the room, you know?
How much of the rock star version of yourself is making it into this solo project?
I've always struggled giving a definition of my rock star thing. It's like, I think it's very related on like the attitude you do things with. And my biggest rule is like, I'm responsible for what I say and what I do, not for what people take out of it. So I think that's the most rockstar thing I have. I do things mainly for me. So.
And that remains.
Yeah, that stays.
It's the right fucking attitude.
I think it's healthy.
Why would you do anything for anybody else but yourself?
It's easy to fall in that trap, you know?
Well, love.
Yeah,
Love
also.
makes you reprioritize things.
Yeah, definitely.
Or at least, yeah, definitely reprioritize things.
But again, if you're modifying yourself to be with someone, is that love or is it like
Totally.
I'm getting something out of it? I hate when things are like, you make me better. I'm proud to be close to you. It's like, no, like you're my safe space. I can be horrible. Of course, always in a respectful and good way. I can look horrible.
Yeah.
I can be in my head. I can be negative. I can be everything. And I know that I'm safe. And I know that you like me. You like also that part of me. That's what we should all be seeking for. Because everything else is like admiration or I can take something out of it or this person is so cool. But it's not like I really want to be inside of this other person because I feel so good that I could let my body to this other person.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, that's what.
No, because
really
I've fallen
counts.
into the trap of like everybody goes like, oh, the person who you're meant to be with brings out the best version of yourself. But the reality is it should bring out the safest version of yourself.
It brings the true you,
Yes.
and we're made of layers. Nobody's that good. Nobody. Like everybody has flaws. Everybody has insecurities. Everybody has things that can't really get a grasp on or that struggles interacting with. And it's having a person that helps you and it's with you through your own process of bettering yourself.
Do you have a name for this album?
I have an idea, but I'm still evaluating things.
How many songs have you made for this body of work?
The file was 72.
Holy!
Yes.
I knew it was going to be a lot. I didn't think it was going to be 72.
It was 6 months, 7 months, every day, excluding weekends, a song a day. So,
But you've obviously started forming a story out of the 72.
I think there's a lot of stuff that was like tries to get something out of my own self. There was, I think, the very first 2 months I was not really ready yet to talk about those things, and so the songs feel a little like stuff put together, you know. And then at one point something happened and it clicked, and I started really feeling comfortable and finding my own language, and also the people I was working with, they started really understanding me and how I like doing things, and like even just the fields I do better in. And so this very good flow created, and from that point on, I would say it was easy.
What was it?
basically.
What clicked?
I don't know. I think after you make 2 or 3 songs that you're like, yes, this is the sound, you start being very confident, and you're not driving through something unknown anymore. You have a goal, and no matter how far it is, you can go straight onto it.
What was the goal?
It was the sound. It was like this, like in a very simple way, all this piano and layers and playing with music was making me feel so comfortable. And like in this song, the lyrics are I think this song is not the best example, but like there's another song that the lyrics are dark, like dark, and the music it's so happy, and it's this like brain fuck. And I was feeling so comfortable, like dancing through the pain, like making my own pain something funny and not taking myself seriously, and putting this character on where I dance and everything is colorful, which is the opposite of how I show up in my life. I'm a very closed off person. I'm not very, I wouldn't say friendly. I'm not very outgoing. I'm very in my head. I have anxiety when I'm with a lot of people. And so creating this world where I'm the showman and I just snap my fingers and everything becomes pink and beautiful and that's feathers. I was feeling so comfortable in it. And I was feeling so moved by things that was looking like it, that it's like a call. You feel it. It's like, this is my room. This is my place, you know.
I mean, does that set a sonic tone? Like this idea that you can be super dark, but also have happy production and like make a song that makes you want to dance?
I think it's the way I see myself when I look at myself from like a third person perspective. I think I am extremely dark and extremely bubbly at the same time. I can be very serious and very like rigid and severe, and at the same time I can be extremely playful and silly and dumb, and I like high culture thing and I like trash stuff. It's like I'm a very wide range of human being, and trying to make this shine through the music was really my goal. And at one point I felt like I found the formula, not for the people. I don't think like, oh, that's what's going to give me a hit. It's like, this is how I really want to communicate this, because I want to tell people my life story, but I don't want to be heavy. I don't think I'm a messiah. I don't think I'm the only one who suffered in his life. I think I'm a 25 years old guy that happens to sing pretty good, and I can write a song. And I want to do it, and I want to have fun, and I want people to look at my life experience. And yes, it's deep, it's meaningful and everything, but it's fun, it's entertaining, it's beautiful. Like, I want to create beautiful things. That's the main goal.
It's working. It really, I mean, at least we have two of the pieces of this much larger puzzle. But you do have an interesting life story. Like, you grew up, you and your brother, right? It was like your parents were flight attendants.
Yeah.
So you're very global.
When I was a kid, I traveled. Yeah, the company used to be rich, then it bankrupt.
Interesting.
Yeah. I went through different stages of wealth.
Interesting.
Nothing extreme.
No, but I mean, dude, being the kid of a flight attendant, you do get to see things and expose yourself to cultures and be around.
Yeah. I was very comfortable since a very young age with different cultures and diversity.
But music really takes form when you're in middle school and you start singing. Like, you just go to like bars and stuff, right?
Yeah. I sang my whole life. Like, I always had a very deep connection with music. And at one point I was just like, okay, let's find other people to do it with. And we created the band, and everything started from there. It was pretty fast.
What can you do on your own musically that you couldn't do in the band?
Be very specific on things, you know, because I'm the songwriter of the band, so when I'm in that costume, I have to talk about my experience, but I have to involve everybody's point of view. I have to represent everybody. I'm speaking for everybody all the time, even if I'm doing an interview. I always hold the other people's opinion and point of view. So it's like everything is made to create a common point of view where everybody can sit comfortably. It's like coming from different aisles to the same aisle. While in this case, it's like I'm on my aisle and there's a whole bunch of different aisles. Let's go there, and see what I like and steal what I like and bring everything back to my own aisle and create my little, I don't know, house and things and everything. It's more individualistic, I guess.
It's truly just you.
Yeah.
Was any part of this a little scary, or was...
Yeah, the first, because from me saying I want to make an album and me starting to make the album, it was 5 days. So I didn't have time to get scared. 5 days after, I was in a huge house in West Hollywood alone. And I just had a bunch of songwriting sessions scheduled. And I was like, okay, I guess I have to show up and just do it. And I was very uncomfortable at the beginning. I was very uncomfortable. And the fake it till you make it mindset really helped me. I was like, I was scared. I wanted to go back. I at one point I was like, what am I even doing? Why am I doing an album on my own? Like, am I ready? Am I able to do it? Do I like too many things? Is the album gonna sound too crazy? And then at one point I was like, that's exactly what I had to do. And also shit started happening. Like Labrinth showed up. I had sessions with crazy people, guys, crazy people. Like, unfortunately, they didn't make it to the record because they were assholes, but I work with crazy people, guys.
By the way, I was hearing some of the sessions you were in. People were talking about it because I'd be like in a studio with somebody else and they'd be like, oh, Damiano's coming in.
Yeah.
You worked with everybody.
I worked with
everybody.
A lot of people, yeah. Yeah. A lot of lovely people. So.
You learn a lot.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Why? It's so interesting. Like, you start 5 days, like you decide to make an album and 5 days later you're in writing sessions.
Yeah.
Do you think this process would have ever begun if you didn't dive right in real quick?
No, again, it was I've had the idea of making a solo record my own life. The feeling of doing it was literally, I woke up one morning and I was like, I'm sick of being sad. That's enough. Do something. I spoke to my manager. He's also really one of my closest friends. And 5 days I was like, here, doing it. Because it was so strong, so powerful.
But the only way you need to fix your sadness was to
erase everything, start from the bottom, like go back to the origin. What makes you feel good? Music. Okay, the center of it all is gonna be music, no distractions, and I'm gonna pick my distractions, distractions. Then I fell in love and I have a lot of beautiful relationships here, but everything is chosen. It's like very carefully selected for my own
health.
Yeah.
Do you remember the conversation with the band?
Yeah.
Hard?
No, I wouldn't say hard because it was something that everybody knew and that everybody agreed on. Again, it's hard to say, I'm going to do it now because it was so strong also for me and I was so unsure. I just felt this call, but at the same time I was scared. So, of course, communicating also to everybody was scary, and also telling my friends that I will be gone for 6 months. Like, that was hard. But no, it was something already agreed. Like everybody knew Vic was already doing her things. So
And when you say indefinite hiatus, that doesn't mean the band is disbanding. It means one
Now-
day there will be another album.
yeah, now we're focusing on our own thing, and I think it's the healthiest thing we can do. And then in the future, we can decide to do things only moved by our feelings. And we really want to do an album. Like that's the cool thing about it. About the fact that we are on a break, but we don't hate each other. Is like the next music that you're gonna hear is gonna be music that we wanted to do and that we had fun doing it, and we had our time and we had everything.
You can make the case that you'll come back a better artist than you left.
For sure, that's 100%.
Right? You have to be a better artist today than you were in the band.
100%. Yeah.
In what ways do you think you've grown?
Again, I now I know myself. Like I can give way more to the band because I know where myself starts and ends. So I can put 100% without faking anything or without being afraid of losing something. I know who I am at my core. I know that I can always go back to it. So now I can really play with everything.
To live a life built on a beautiful foundation is very special.
Yeah.
What do you learn from Labrinth? Isn't he incredible?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I think he was. He doesn't know that he has this big responsibility, but he was the thing that made me say, okay, I'm doing the right thing. Because I was working with Jason and Sarah and Mark, and we do this session. They don't know me yet. First session together. And of course, like when you meet people, they're always like, oh, you're amazing, but you never know if they really mean it. And then at the end of the session, Sarah is like, okay, you're amazing. I'm working with Labrinth. We're doing this thing. Do you want to do it? And I was like, are you serious? Like, does he know that? And, yeah. He already heard you. He loves you. I'm like, this is crazy. And so I just went and did it. Again, like with no thinking about it. And it was so magical. It was like, yes, you're doing the right thing. We're going to tell you that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, like everything just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
So is that song done by the time you put your voice to it?
No. We worked on it. They were working together, and she was like, "You should jump in. You should do something with us."
I mean, dude, the record is so good. A Smile, I Welcome You, A Darkness, I've Long Forgotten You, and Peace Belongs to Me. Dude, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's incredible. It felt incredible for me reading back the lyrics after I finished the album, and I was like, this is like future reading, because at the moment I didn't feel that, but it was like a letter to my future self, a message to my future self. And when I read it back, I was like, oh shit, I was feeling it. Like now I know and I can recognize it. I was feeling it. All that intensity was that. Like I wanted to get rid of all that darkness and all that heaviness and just go to what makes me happy and what makes me light and what makes me lifeful.
And this, what we're about to hear on this album did all that.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, music is an intense form of manifestation.
Yeah.
Didn't you say there was a 10-minute version of Silverlines?
Of the video clip, yeah.
Why did that have to get cut down? Why couldn't you release all 10 minutes?
Because labels are boring. And YouTube policies and all these things. Maybe we're gonna release it. I don't know. It's still in the bank, but you know, there's policies. You gotta make everybody happy, and I don't want to give up anything on music and the ideas in general. So I really picked the hills to die on, and that was not one in that moment.
What's the last hill you chose to die on?
The last hill I chose to die on, the Born with a Broken Heart video clip. Everybody tried to stop me. because they thought it was too much. Are we gonna be able to put it on, like to pull it off? This thing is so expensive. I'll pay for it. I don't give a shit. Like, now I'm alone. Nobody can stop me. I'll use my own money. The dance classes, I don't care. I'm gonna do 4 days all in a row, but you're gonna be hurting. Yes, fuck it. Like, that was something I really fought for. And then when the video was realized and people got back to me and they were like, "You were right. You were right. We were wrong. You were right." I was like, yes. That's gonna count for the next year.
Is dancing going to be a part of this new?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, it's fun. It's fun. I'm never gonna be Fred Astaire. I know it. So people need to chill out. Okay? I don't think I'm a good dancer, but it's fun. Okay? It's fun. It makes me feel good, so I'm gonna still do it.
And it's freeing. That's what matters.
Yeah, and it's a discipline. I love everything that gives me a discipline. I have to do that. I have to pull it off. It's like having a target for me is the best thing you can do to me. I get into my little basketball player mode, and I just wanted to get it done.
Because you did play basketball.
Yeah.
Until you were pretty like old.
Like 15, 16, yeah.
But like legit, you took it seriously.
I was good. For like in Italy, for the level you can be at 15, 16, I was at the highest level possible in that moment. It's nothing compared to 16 years old American. You guys dunk when you're 12. We don't do that. We're not allowed to shoot threes until we're 20. It's a different type of basketball, but I was a good playmaker. I swear to God.
That's what matters.
Yeah. Efficient.
Damn. You can listen to all of Damiano's music, by the way. It's waiting for you on Amazon Music. We're going to put a link below. I mean, is there a new year for the album, right? So 2025
Yeah,
sometime?
25.
But is it done in your head? Like, do you have it finished?
Done. Yeah. I'm just now I'm just fucking around with things. Like I'm putting a barbershop quartet on a song.
Sick.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, even if you pay for it,
like
fuck
nobody can stop me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so now I'm just trying a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to like sounds and like bottle this up and let's try things, but the songs are there, the titles are there. The the track list in my head is done. I think I'm gonna have to fight for 1 or 2 songs, but it's a hill I'm gonna die on. For sure.
So are you going into these sessions with lyrics or just raw emotion? And like, are you starting with lyrics or writing to production?
Sometimes it's something that somebody told me. Sometimes it's somebody else's song, and I like what they're talking about. I want to talk about it in my own way. And sometimes for a song, it was like, I just rewatched The Corpse Bride. I want to write a song about it. It's too good, and so I wrote a song about it. It could be everything.
I want this album. I want to hear the album.
Will any of these songs be in Italian or only English for this album?
No. This album it's only in English. I had something in Spanish.
Interesting.
But it was too early. We save it for the future.
So are you sitting on songs from this crop of like writing sessions that you may release after this album? Maybe a little deluxe?
Yeah, why not? I have too many. So like in my head, the album was like 21 tracks. Can't be that long. So I have more songs than the one I'm gonna release for sure.
God, you probably speak Spanish very beautifully.
I'm
close.
fairly fluent.
Yeah, it's close to Italian.
Yeah, it's close to Italian.
Why aren't you singing in Italian?
It's a whole different. I don't think they go together in the same project. I am very. English is my second language. It's the language that now I speak more often because my life it's in English. I live here. My girlfriend is American. We speak English. I speak English with the people I work with. So now I think and dream in English. And it's a part of me. It's like a way of communicating with people. I found my own self. They say that every language you speak, your personality changes a little. Now I feel comfortable enough with the language enough that I can show my personality and I'm not just trying to say shit. While in Italian, I have this whole vocabulary and this, I don't know, it's like my dialect and all my background. Italian is it's subject to a lot of modification depending where you're from and how you grew up. And so if I do something in Italian, I want to do a whole thing only in Italian and promote it in Italian and make video clips with Italian directors. I want it to be 100% Italian. So I don't feel good mixing the two things, also because I would know that I'm speaking to two completely different audiences. And so it would feel like I'm telling 50% of the people this thing and 50% of the people another thing, and I wouldn't feel fair doing it. So it's two split things for me.
The other thing too is like music is a universal language. Like music tends to connect no matter the language.
Yeah.
But there is something to like, you're not necessarily isolating fans in Italy if you release a record in English.
No.
They consume English
Music,
pop music
every
all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah. I'm not in fault with anybody.
It's really interesting though that you now think and dream in English.
Yeah.
That's like a big deal.
That's a big deal. But the last year and a half, I've been here.
Wow.
Basically.
So it's new. Like it's only been happening within the last year and a
it's
half?
like in the last 6 months.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yo, that's I've always wanted to learn another language. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Is that scary to you? Like you wake up one morning and you're like, oh shit.
No, but sometimes I tell Dov, like, okay, babe, I need 20 minutes with my podcast because I need to hear somebody speak Italian. I need it. Like I feel bad. And I hear a little bit, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I can go back to English.
Because I get that. Like it's...
And it fucks with your brain. It fucks with you. There was a point in my life where I had to talk a lot of Spanish and I had to take breaks because I was switching between 3 languages and I was getting like headaches.
What was going on in your life that you had to speak Spanish?
A lot of things.
Interesting.
It's,
a lot of headaches though going between
a lot
3.
of headaches. Yeah, a lot of headaches.
What was the hardest language to learn?
I would say English because it came later in my life. Like I started speaking Spanish when I was very young because we studied in school, and I was like very close to my Spanish teacher's daughter. So like I was hearing a lot of Spanish, and I listened to a lot of Spanish music. It's like I think it's the music I listen to the most. And so I'm comfortable with the language. It's close to Italian. I traveled a lot to Spanish-speaking countries. When I go to Latin America, I really talk to people, and it's beautiful to be able to speak in their own language. While English, it's something that I had like a base of, because of course in school you do the pen is on the table and shit like that. But then for job reasons, I had to learn it. So it feels more like acquired.
Yeah, because like when we first met, years ago now, when you first came on the show.
Yeah, my English was different.
Totally different situation.
I know, yes.
It's crazy. I mean, you're obviously incredibly intelligent to even pick something up, but it is also like survive or die.
It's needed, and also like in the exact moment we went to the Eurovision, and so the range of audience was getting larger. My first goal was I want to communicate with these people as fluently as I do in Italian, because I consider myself a smart person, and with a like good property of language, especially in Italian, I want to be able to communicate in the same way in English, which is not like in the same mannerism or but in the same, like with the same efficiency. I don't want to be like, but that's not exactly what I meant. That's exactly what I mean. Like, I don't want to randomize things.
Totally. But for a bunch of reasons, vital. Like even as you're navigating from a business sense, like. You know.
It's very helpful. I mean.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a room where everyone's talking about you and you have no idea.
That's a thing, yeah.
It's hard. I have the most credit should be given to somebody who is either learning a language slowly or navigating a place where nobody around them is speaking the same tongue.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the strongest people. Like it is. Dude,
You
it's
got to
hard.
fit in.
It's hard, man. It's hard. God, what are you thinking?
We covered a lot.
Yeah, you're amazing. You really.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, you're. I'm telling you, like, I don't know. The music's incredible. Silverlines is one of the best songs I've heard in a long time. I'm excited for the album. We're always here, but also like, it's just cool to see it all evolve. Like you guys
Thank you.
accomplished a lot as a band
Yeah.
in what feels like a decently short amount of time.
It is from
scary.
from an American audience point of view. It's short. It's a short amount of time.
Like yeah, like
It's
from,
like 3-4 years. Yeah.
But the reality is, you started when you were in middle
10.
school, and it's been a build.
It's been a build up. It's been a build up. That's why we're not crazy people. I would say all the four of us, we're pretty sane people. And I think that's why it was a build up.
But you should be proud. You went from busking on the streets as a unit to being one of the biggest bands in the world.
I am proud.
You should be.
I am proud. I always say if I stop today, I'm okay. Like with accomplishments, I'm okay. So whatever I'm doing from now on in the rest of my life, it's for fun. It's because I love doing it. I had my Grammy nomination. I had my VMAs. I had my awards. They're
I get it.
beautiful. They look incredible. I wish to win a Grammy in my life. It would be an incredible accomplishment. But if I win it, it's with something I'm proud of. It's me, and I have fun doing it. It's never going to be something pulled off to get something. What I had to get, I got. I'm okay.
Is that what success is to you? Being something that's yours?
Success is to do things because you want to do it, not because you have to, which is the biggest freedom possible.
Amen. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Damiano David, everybody. Music, all of it on Amazon Music. Link below.
From Italy with love.